Welcome back. It's turn 36. So Jotunheim finally claimed their throne, and it is the throne of law. We claimed the high throne. Sakura cast arcane probing again. No magic sites were found. Kimiai found a battlefield, which is one dead gem, always good. Aki found a magic site, which is a convent. It's basically a place that lets you recruit priests. I'll probably have a look at it later. Mako didn't find any magic sites. Then the assassinations. So Hamako tried to assassinate Balar the Wizards. Let's have a look at that. So she has this item, the Amulet of Dead, which lets her summon one skeleton every turn. So it more or less makes you a dead one mage with infinite fatigue. However, this wizard summons air elementals. Predictably, she doesn't do very well against air elementals. However, the wizard does get slain by a skeleton. So, I don't know. An assassin and 5 gems for one wizard. Against a player it would be an acceptable trade, but against a neutral wizard I wouldn't repeat that. And Izuku tried to assassinate Stanibor the wizard, so that's another one of the wizards. Let's have a look at how that goes. Similar, but unfortunately this wizard just straight out of the gate summons an ice elemental, which has trample. Goodbye skeleton. And goodbye other skeleton. And goodbye assassin, yeah. So, unfortunately, this strategy of assassination, which can be quite strong, doesn't really work that well against independent wizards. Okay, another crippled unit died on the march. There was a battle in High Mill against independents. This is the throne battle. Mostly according to the only thing here is that these little Bakemono shells charge forward. Amongst other things by a trampling ice elemental. And I prefer to leave these frontline duties to the undead. Their entire army runs away. And interestingly, the Shuchendoi that I sent with the army have gone ahead of everyone, and that's for the wizards. I think because of their invulnerability, they don't really care about the incoming arrows. Alright, so that's that round dealt with. Then Jotunheim and Nazca have another fight in Troll Canyons. I think this is a big one. I don't recall correctly. Oh yes. Well, not that big. For what I've been seeing from them so far, this is... This is actually Jarn Vinci. Who could actually get killed from this? However, she just made herself. Meanwhile, the Yoga's breaking down. Is quite a big loss, I think. Capital on the goal. You don't want to be getting that away. I would have given that especially against it seems like one of these wizards is casting luck on all of them. Because they have to strike them at least once to get rid of the luck, and then another time to actually kill the guy. In most cases. Numbers and qualities on their side, so I'm going to speed this up. Jotunheim actually manages to capture our fortress. Scout was discovered and killed. And the palisades in Caves of Mira have been completed. So Jotunheim just took this place of Nazca, which it's fine by me. Like, I would rather have Nazca win than Jotunheim because I'm gonna have to fight Jotunheim over this at some point, and I've just maneuvered in such a way that I potentially do not have to fight Nazca. Meanwhile, all of these Shutsundoi forces are moving out into here, 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 and here. I do not expect all of them to survive. If this army stays here, the guys moving in here are probably dead. But armies move at the same time, so they might as well move anywhere else, and any force might as well move into these provinces. So I'm just hedging my bets by rushing into all of these provinces, and if at least about half of them survive, I can just go from there. Meanwhile, this force is actually going to take this province of Pangaea first, because Apisia is only going to react to my aggression the turn after. This is not optimal. Like I could wait another turn, but Waiting another turn also slows things down a lot, so you have to balance those concerns. Meanwhile, this force, minus the sorcerer, this sorcerer is just searching for magic sites, but the rest of this force is moving into this throne. Because we want to capture that as well. For now, our prophet is still just moving with the army, but at some point his job is gonna change to throne capturing. Hirohito is crafting a second ring of returning. Tsune has finally recovered. This is why you take recuperation. He used to be mute and completely useless. Now he's a dead 4 mage. And he's making himself a staff, so then he can join this army. Then he's gonna be dead 5 mage, just like Toshiba. But Toshiba is still alive and old and has all the penalties that old brings with it. For encumbrance, for instance. And Tsune doesn't have any of those problems. And even more importantly, Tsune has an upkeep of 0. So I can create an infinite amount of white mages, get them out and have them roaming around with their rings of returning. Return on damage. So unless they're instantly killed, they just return to the capital and can just go out on an adventure again. This is basically what I built this strategy around, and I mean I could have told about it in the first video, but I'd rather show these things than just have a very long conversation about them. It's not an ideal strategy against Abyssia, nor is it an ideal strategy against Jotunheim. It would be a really good strategy against somebody like Ulm, for instance, or Pangea as well, I suppose. Anyone who relies on troops that don't have, like, that aren't flying and don't have something ridiculous like the fire effect or the cold effect. Although skeletons would actually do well in the cold, it might work quite well against Jotunheim, come to think of it. In large enough numbers, so I'm gonna need a lot more white mages. Which is why I am still recruiting Background sorcerers here. And here. So, because they're on alternating turns, these two forts both create, together create 1 Background sorcerer each turn. The ones with high death, I am going to cast Twiceborn on, and then I'm going to send them into battle, and if they die, they come back as a white mage. And then we go from there. Because, as you can see, we have a ridiculous income, but quite a big part of it already goes into upkeep of all of the troops and all of the wizards. So this will not scale up forever. I might already have won the game before that actually becomes a problem, but I'd rather plan for that future anyway. So, yeah. Next turn we're gonna see those. Next turn I'm gonna send the first white mage into action. And I'm still building forts. Like, I'm building a fort here. I'm building one here, and I'm building one here. And possibly I also want to put some temples in those forts to push all this cold dominion away. But other than that, most of the money can just go into white mages at some point. Even the importance of troops is going to decline. I can use my gem income to summon troops. Instead of recruiting them, and summon troops don't cost upkeep. And the white mages don't cost upkeep, so eventually it's just gonna be white mages archers, which do cost upkeep, but whatever. So white mages, archers, and summons. But we're not there yet. It's year 3 and we're still relying on troops. Which might be bad, I don't know. Alright, that's it for turn 36. See you in turn 37. It is turn 37. First turn of the war against Abyssia. But first, some messages. Our research and alteration is complete. It is now alteration 5. Sakura has cast arcane probing and actually found something in Garden of Pearls. Kinsada has found a magic site in Setne, a Garden of Bones. And then a lot of guys didn't find anything. A bunch of crippled units died, and then there's battles. So, we attack Abyssia in Troea, or however you pronounce that. This is just the Shutsundoi against province defense. I'm just gonna fast forward to the point where we actually fight. And this does go according to plan. They fall asleep because of the auras. And then the Shutsundoi just slowly kill them. So yes, this works. There's a battle in Snake Swamps. Yeah, I'm gonna show that. This is well, what remains of Pangea. Another little bit of province defense. And once again they got completely overrun by arrows. Then there's the fight in Redbud Grove. This is also a good one. Yeah, this is just a bunch of province defense. They actually did get Abyssion infantry as province defense in the story. Here actually the 5 fire resistance from the dragon helmet helps against the Abyssion infantry. So they take down this province defense. This goes fine. Then there's a battle in Pastina. Pangea decides to attack the province with what they have left, which is, yeah, not enough to even deal with the province defense. Okay. Then there's the attack on Lilithorn. Here you will see my miscalculations, basically. So, the thing I didn't really count on are the salamanders. They have a fire flare attack which does 20 armor piercing fire damage. And I've only equipped these guys with 5 fire resistance, so the results are quite predictable. Lizards run ahead of everyone else because Abyssion troops are really slow. And then they just delete the Shutsundoi. So they need more fire resistance, otherwise this is not gonna work. And I'll show this one later. The same thing happens in Bottom World actually. Because here this army also has salamanders. And, well, these guys are just not equipped to deal with salamanders, so That's 4 commanders dead. There's a battle in Glanis where Nazca decides to attack Jotunheim again. They've been going back and forth this entire game. But here they bring their pretender along. Actually, he casts Iron Skin on himself. And then he has a protection of 24. He already has a lot of natural protection, so it doesn't help that much yet. Alright. Yeah, if it comes to that, I'm stealing the 24 protection. Unfortunately for Jotunheim, this province defense does have trouble with that. And they run away, so Nazca takes the province. There was an unexpected event in Isepne. This is what happens when you find the Garden of Bones. It always happens. A skeleton tries to assassinate your mage. Unfortunately for Sir Skellington, this is a Bakemono sorcerer, not like a little tap mage, so yeah, he just fights the Skellington with more Skellington. An unexpected event in Deepmount. Children are disappearing at night. Strange creatures skulk the wilderness. Okay, so 23 unrest and 1 magic. I'm already at max magic skill, so I don't really care. Then there's an unexpected event in Hyperbousy. Famine has struck the land. People are starving and begging in the streets, blaming the cruel masters. So a whole lot of unrest, a whole lot of dead people, and a little bit of gold gone. And the troops in Snake Swamps are starving, but they're already leaving that place, so it's not gonna matter. Okay, so the southern attacks got through, but the northern ones not so much. Mainly because of the salamanders. So what I'm doing now here is I am forging rings of fire. I have also started to forge bottles. Let me show. Here, bottle of living water, which creates a water elemental at the start of the battle. I can potentially give these to assassins in order to give them a water elemental, which might be more successful than a skeleton, especially against these guys. Then I am gonna send a big attack into Ard, because this is the province I actually want, the rest is just a distraction. There is gonna be this formation with the Boros line here again. There's gonna be 2 sorcerers summoning in skeletons, and the rest is just gonna be a lot of ranged fire. And we have the Shutendoi standing in front. They might actually die because of the fire. If they get hit by the salamanders, they're dead. But other than this, they're not doing anything at the moment. I might actually, now come to think of it, they could be more useful if I sent them into the remaining provinces here. Because that they can definitely take, and over here they could very well die pointlessly, so I'm actually gonna do that. I'm just gonna clean up Pangea's provinces with them. Alright. Other than that, this army here is gonna clean up this province. And all of the water Bakemono Shaman from Florian are gonna move into Ard. The reason for that is that with my research, I am currently researching Alteration 6, which I'm gonna have by the start of next turn, and the way the turn order works is your research goes before the battles, which means they can cast Frozen Heart. And Frozen Heart completely ignores all armor and everything and just does 10 damage. So they might actually be quite good at killing these highly armored Abyssian warriors that have no cold resistance. And if this works, I have a lot more water mages I could be sending in. Alright, that's it for turn 37. See you in turn 38. It is turn 38. The research for Alteration 6 has been done. Alteration 7 is next. Sakura cast Arcane Probing, but find nothing. Here I need to cast Mother Oak. Now we get a 10 extra nature gems every turn. This guy casts Twiceborn, so when he dies he comes back like a white mage. Search for magic sites and found nothing. Here in Hyperbossy, Fukushima found a gallows, which is probably that site. Mako didn't find any magic sites. And then Abyssia tried to assassinate one of my people. Let's see how that went. I see, so they have these slayers, which are quite alright for assassins. They're basically your standard assassin, but with a heat aura. And he's trying to assassinate one of my Shochindoi, but the Shochindoi has equipment and experience and everything. So that is probably not going to work. Yeah. That is a damage roll. Damage roll of 23 plus 20. Yeah, so the Slayer just dies. Okay. Then there's a battle with some crippled units dies again, because I basically don't care enough to remove the crippled units of the battles, because I don't have any healers, so there's not much I can do about this, so I'm just rolling the dice on them and just moving them around, because otherwise they're just gonna stay in the province and eat upkeep. Alright, so there's a battle in Troer again. Let's see how that went. Oh, more salamanders. They fight the one province defense I put there and just walk over it. Then there's a battle in New Spring. This is my army going to march on Abyssia. Abyssians don't really care about arrows, but province defense does. Then there's a battle in Ard. Oh yeah, this is the big battle. So this is the best equipped army that I have. Technically. Abyssian infantry with these are human breed. Are they all human breed? Anyway, because they have these shields, they stop arrows a lot. And these guys, who are Abyssian infantry, don't have a shield, but they do have 17 protection. All these arrows are going. Now, these things, these blue things, those are the Bakemono Shaman, which are casting Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart really doesn't care about your heavy armor. Frozen Heart basically just deletes an infantry. And with a whole line of these shamans, they're actually doing some damage. Would you look at that? Just 2 mages summoning this entire... They're basically just pulling an arm out at this point. Okay, so... Let's see, where was this? Lord? Yes. So these Bakamano shamans, 8 of them, just deleted 15 of the Abyssian infantry. In a very short time as well. Like, if this battle had been more equal, it had been going on longer and they would have killed a lot more. So I think Frozen Heart is a pretty good counter. And then there's a battle in Oliur, which is 2 Shochendois killing some province defense. I think they're catching fire because of their commander's fire armor. Yeah, these horse tribe are usually pretty alright as province defense. Not if you're attacking with something that doesn't care about arrows. Okay. Then Jotunheim and Nazca are still fighting each other. Oh, Jotun Hurler got a kill. That's interesting. We had a battle in Exibatia. I think this is another throne. Let's see. Yeah, this is the other throne. Okay, so standard domination, although a little bit depleted. Against a lot of tribal warriors and a few mages. Arrows, as you could just see there, by the way, are very bad against undead because undead have a pierce resistance. However, katanas do just fine against undead, so doesn't really matter. And then there is a battle in Troll Canyons where Nazca attacks Jotunheim again. They've been at this forever. Okay, so Nazca is basically trying to take their province back, but Jotunheim still has their army here, so that is probably not going to work. Yeah, I think if you're playing Nazca or anything with birds, you need a lot more birds. You need to have so many birds that everything of your opponent gets surrounded, but this attack is just too weak. And then there's a battle in Redbud Grove. Here Abyssia attacks me. Oh yeah, these are the Shutsundoi, which for some reason didn't move and they don't have any fire resistance. And there's those bloody salamanders again. I know it's my own fault, but by now I've lost 6 of these guys to salamanders. So this guy was... Oh, different kind of salamander. Incinerate. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is just 18 fire damage. So they survive one kind of salamander and get killed by a different kind of salamander. Unfortunate, but bottom line is they just need a lot more fire resistance to do well here. Unexpected event in Pristina. Your farmers have angered a vengeful entity of the wild. A monster boar is now ravaging the province. Farmers are afraid to enter their fields and refuse to work. Unrest is slowly growing. You must send a group of hunters to find the dire pig and slay it, lest its unrest will continue to rise. Okay. This is annoying because you need to send people into patrol, otherwise this is just gonna keep happening. I am not sure if somebody cast Monster Boar or if it's just a random event. Both are possible. Then an unexpected event in Pangea. Good omens, +1 luck. Nice, but I already have luck, so it doesn't really matter. Construction of the palisade in Swande is complete. Construction of the fortress in Mira. We've started to destroy the fort in R. The walls are severely damaged. More time is required to break them down completely, so probably 1 or 2 more turns. Troops in Art have started to starve. Well, that's too bad, but there's not much I can do. I need to have troops there in order to break the walls, so they're just going to have to starve. So, we control this, and this for thrones. We still have to win this war against Abyssia to take this one. And we have this one as well, by the way. Then it's just gonna be fighting Jotunheim for this one. But first the war with Abyssia. So, I am recruiting replacement Schutzendoi here. And I am forging a lot of equipment, new dragon helmets, more new coral blades. I still have some of these things, lion pelts. With all that combined, they will have 20 fire resistance, which should be sufficient. Meantime, I am also sending a lot of these out to different locations because they have water magic. And the one that's going to show up here, this one is going to be casting rain in the next battle. Because I do expect these guys to move in here and I would like to destroy them as cheaply as possible, and the rain is gonna really reduce their fire effect. Other than that, we're just shuffling troops around. I am moving all of my water shamans into here. So they can also be casting Frozen Heart. I could even move some water shamans from here, come to think of it. So yeah, all the water shamans are going to be doing a Frozen Heart spam from now on. And yeah, other than that, we're going to be finishing off Pangea and hopefully Abyssia, and then it's just going to be an end run. Alright, that's it for turn 38. See you in turn 39.